33. I want you to look at Deuteronomy 33 about verse 12 and try to get through some of this here. Come on, we come on back to it. I wasn't going to come too early with some of the stuff we were going to deal with on Passover or unleavened bread. We're going to hold some of that bite. And he says, and of Benjamin he said, the beloved of Yah shall dwell in safely by him, and Yah shall cover him all the day long, and he shall dwell between his shoulders. Remember what Benjamin's name means, young man? While you're over there eating on your fingers, do you know what the name Benjamin means? All right, then. Do you know what it means, brother? Do any of y'all know, besides the pair, what Benjamin means? Well, Benjamin means the son of my right hand. So now when you have Benjamin saying he's the beloved of Yah, what in that cloud did the disciples here in Matthew 17 he said about his son? What did he call him? No, he said, this is my beloved son in whom I'm well pleased. Hear ye him. Now as we sit here and look at it, he said he's the beloved of Yah and he dwells safely by him. So let's see where he dwells safely by him at. Come on around here to Hebrews 8 chapter. Hebrews 8 and 1. Listen what he's telling. He said, now the things which we have spoken, this is the sum. We have such a high priest who is set on the right hand of the throne of the majesty in the heavens, a minister of the sanctuary and of the true tabernacle which the Lord pitched and not man. So now we sit there, we dealt with last night how the Lord himself takes care of those of his own household. Now we can see how the Lord is dwelling safely by him in the sanctuary. And he said the key thing, he said he's a minister of the sanctuary. He said it's a true house. Say the Lord pitched it. Man didn't make it. And that's what we have to sit back and look at. If we're going to be a part of the house of God, and this has to be made by God and not man. Come around here to Zechariah the 8th chapter, 6th chapter maybe. See if that's what it is. This just came to my mind. Interesting indeed. Zechariah 6. Look about verse 12. Zechariah 6 and 12. It says, speak unto him, saying, thus speaketh Yah of hosts, saying, behold, the man whose name is the branch, he shall grow up out of his place, and he shall build the temple of Yah. Even he shall build the temple of Yah, and he shall bear the glory, and he shall sit and rule upon his throne. He shall be a priest upon his throne. The council of peace shall be between them both. And the crown shall be to Helem, and to Tobiah, and to Jedediah, and to him the son of Zephaniah, for a memorial in the temple of Yah. And saying, they that are far off shall come and build in the temple of Yah. Hold on. Good grief. I don't know what just happened again. So give me 1 second, please. What I walk this, I will pay. Listen what he say. He saying, they that are far off shall come and build in the temple of Yah, and ye shall know that Yah of hosts hath sent me unto you. This shall come to pass if you will diligently obey the voice of Yah your God. So he said, this will diligently come to pass that this man will come and build the house of God. If we can come back and return. What did he tell Peter them in Matthew 16? What did he tell Peter? You know what he told Peter? He told him, with this rock, I'm going to build my church. Or I'm going to build my house. Or I'm going to build my body. I'm going to build my tabernacle. Now remember, he knew that Yahshua was the Messiah, the Son of the living God. Remember, he said no flesh and blood didn't tell him that. So wouldn't that mean that he would be a stone being built in the house of God that was pitched by the Lord, not man? Because for you to be able to be a part of the house of God, you're going to have to be pitched by the Lord. You're going to have to be built up and made by him. And then you can dwell safely with him the same way he dwells safely with his Father in his throne. Dwelling between his shoulders, or dwelling in safety. Yahshua being a refuge from the wrath to come. We're going to deal with some of these things, but I think we touched it a while back. We might have to do it again. Come on back over here to Deuteronomy 33, though. All right, hold on, man. All right. Deuteronomy 33. We're in verse 13. And said of Joseph, he said, blessed of Yah be his land, for the precious things of heaven, for the dew and for the deep that couch beneath, and for the precious fruits brought forth by the sun, and the precious things put forth by the moon, and the chief things of the ancient mountains, for the precious things of the lasting hills, and for the precious things of the earth, and fullness thereof, and for the good will of him that dwelt in the bush. Let the blessing come upon the head of Joseph, and upon the top of the head of him that was separated from his brethren. So now we go back here. He say, blessed of Yah be his land. Now why would this land here be blessed of Yah? Let's look at Isaiah 51, about verse 3. No, I thank you. Isaiah 51 and 3. And he says, for Yah shall comfort Zion. Because that's his land, right? Because where's Mount Zion? Remember we just read last night? He said he would allow you to cause to inherit the desolate heritages. Where's Mount Zion, what? Huh? You don't know? All right then. Stop talking like you got rocks in your mouth. You might want to spit them out. It'll damage your teeth. He said he will comfort all her waste places. He will make her wilderness like Eden and her desert like the garden of Yah. Joy and gladness shall be found therein, thanksgiving and the voice of melody. Hearken unto me, my people. Give ear unto me, O my nation. For a law shall proceed from me, and I will make my judgment to rest for a light of the people. So this man sitting there telling you, if you want to rest in Jerusalem, this man said you need to listen. That's the key thing. You need to hearken. Not just hear the words that's being spoken, but hear them and do them. Because what's the Lord used to tell people all the time? He that have ear to hear, let him do what? Let him hear. That means if you can hear the word, then you need to hearken and do it. Hold what you got. Come on around here to James for first time. Come on around here. James 1, verse 21. Huh? Doesn't she look like she's getting taller every month? She can gain the interest. Taller today. James 1 and 21. Wherefore, lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness. So all that filth you got going on, and all that trying to be slick and be naughty and stubborn and do what you want to do, you need to lay that all to the side. And receive with meekness the engrafted word which is able to save your soul. You need to humble yourself down and receive this word that can merge with you, that can deliver you from death. Because other than that, you're going to hell. It don't make no sense to sit there and know you're going to hell. You need to do something about it. But see the key thing right here. Be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. Because it's one thing to listen to the word. Oh, you heard it, but you ain't going to do it. See, he said you need to be a doer of the word, and not just a hearer of the word. Because see, he told you to hearken, because he done said his judgment to come forth. Y'all sure that judgment? Remember, man, this man said if I wouldn't have came and did the works that no other man did, you wouldn't have had no cover for your sin. That's judgment right there. See, come on around here to John 9:41, since it's in my mind. Also, we might have to look at something in Ezekiel. You make it John 9:39. This is what he say now. John 9:39. And Yahshua said, for judgment I am coming to this world, that they which see not might see, and they which see might be made blind. Now, did he just say in Isaiah he came to be a light for the people? What light allow you to do? You walking in a dark room, what light allow you to do? Didn't he say he called his prisoners forth to come out of darkness? And did we read that last night? Look out. Huh? Ain't that what light come to do? So this man said he came forth and bring forth to those who were in darkness who couldn't see, that they may have light. And those that think they can see, that they can have darkness so they can die and go to hell. He say for judgment. So he do this for judgment. This is the righteous judgment of God for him to do this here. To save those who want to be saved and condemn those who want to be condemned. So you have to sit there and look at yourself. Why are you sitting here hearing the word and you ain't doing it? Come over here to Ezekiel 33. You done heard it before. You're going to hear it again. Ezekiel 33 and about verse 30. real Nicaraguan baby. Hold on. Hold on one second. I want you to look at verse 23 before we even see that though. He said, the word of Yah came unto me, saying, Son of man, they that inhabited those wastes of the land of Israel speak, saying, Abraham was one, and he inherited the land, but we are many, and the land is given for us for inheritance. He said, Wherefore say unto them, Thus saith Yah, you eat with the blood, lift up your eyes towards your idols, and shed blood, shall you possess the land. Now this is the key thing. You say you want to dwell in Zion, in that desolate heritage that's going to be comforted and made like the Garden of Eden, but yet you put your eyes up to your idols. You got all these things going on in your heart. And when we talk about your eyes lifting up to your idols, not just worshiping idols, God, because we know none of y'all ain't around here celebrating Easter or worshiping Allah, but you stubborn though. And he told you that. That's the same as iniquity and idolatry, did he not? So some of y'all, that's what you lifting your idols up. You lifting your idols up because you trying to justify your own way. You just trying to justify doing what you doing. See, but look what he tell you though. He said, you think you're going to possess the land and you doing all this here? You shedding blood. Remember now, he said, if you hate your brother in your heart, you the same as a murderer. Sound like you shedding blood, don't it? He said, you stand upon your sword, you work abomination, you defile everyone his neighbor's wife, shall you possess the land. Now how you going to possess the land you work an abomination? Look at Revelation 21 and 27. Look what he tell you right here. He said, you going to do all these things? He said, you think you're going to possess the land? Any of y'all believe you'll possess the land, you do them things? What say you, little stankers? You think you're going to get in the land doing them things? Stanker just looked at me and said, no. What you say, Dwight? You think you're going to get in? Let's see what the verse says. Dwight said, let's see what the verse says. And there shall in no wise enter into it anything that defile, neither whatsoever work abomination, or make a lie. But they which are written in the Lamb's book of life. Ain't he some of the same things he reread about what he just said in Ezekiel? Now how you going to get in now? How you going to get in now? He say anything that defile. Y'all know what defile. Fornication, blasphemy, evil thoughts, evil eye, covetousness. You know what I'm talking about? These things make you defile. How you think you're going to get in here? How you think you're going to get in here? You think you're going to possess the land with that type of attitude? You're not getting in there with that. Come on back to Ezekiel 33. Listen what he tell you though. We're in verse 27. Say thou thus unto them, thus saith Yah, as I live, man swearing on his name. Surely they that are in the way shall fall by the sword, and him that is in the open field will I give to the beast to be devoured, and they that be in the forts and in the cave shall die of the pestilence. For I will lay the land most desolate, and the pomp of her strength shall cease, and the mountains of Israel shall be desolate, that none shall pass through. Then they shall know that I am Yah, when I have laid the land most desolate of all their abominations that they have committed. Now you have to sit there and look at it. Now remember, he said this is the land that he blessed. Now we done read that he said he's going to comfort it again. Ain't he? But guess what? He ain't going to comfort you if you don't hearken and take heed to that judgment that he's going to give to the light of the people. He's going to lay you desolate just like he did the land. He's going to lay you desolate just like he did the land. Because he just told you some of y'all going to be for the sword. I'm going to kill some of y'all. Then I'm going to let pestilence get some of the rest of you. There's no escaping the judgment of God when all you got to do is lay apart the same superfluity and filthiness. The superfluity of naughtiness and filthiness. And humble yourself to receive the word. But look what he tells. He said, also, thou son of man, the children of thy people still talking against thee by the walls and in the doors of the houses, speaking one to another, every one to his brother, say, come, I pray you. Hear the word. Hear what is the word that come forth from Yah. That's what I was just telling you. You think because you tell her, oh, we finna go hear the word, you think you're going to be straight? You see, but look what the Lord tell them though. And they come unto thee as the people come, and they sit before thee as my people, and they hear thy words, but they will not do them. See, that's the key thing. So what were them people doing? They were hearers of the word one a little more, but they weren't doers though. Let's see why he said they wouldn't do it. He said, for with their mouth they show much love, but their heart go after their covenant. He said, you run your mouth real good. He said, you run your mouth real good. He said, but your heart going after the things that you lusting after. You got to keep that in the spirit, because all we're doing is we just looking at the combination of what we seen here in James. James said, don't be a hearer of the word, be a doer. He said, these people hear my word, but they're not going to do it. He say in your mouth you show much love. You don't want to be like that. Well, I love the Lord. The Lord this, the Lord that. He say, but I already know. This nigga ain't going to do what I told him to do. He say, because they lusting after this and they lusting after that. And they want this and they want that. They want this and they want that. He said, they're not going to do it. He saying, lo, thou art unto them a very lovely song of one that have a pleasant voice and can play well on the instrument. For they hear thy words, but they do them not. Now you see, now we got validation what James said then. And now you good as God. Because the scripture done got you and the epistle letter done got you. Now how you going to sit there and hear the word and not do it? And guess what he tell them? And when this come to pass, and lo it will come, they shall know that a prophet has been among them. So you know what that means? When somebody come around and they got the word and they teaching it properly and you hear it and you don't do it, guess what that means? There's a prophet among you. That means somebody going to hell. That means somebody's going to hell. Because if it's a prophet among you, what doesn't happen, little mother? Let's see what happens if the prophet's among you. You want to see what happens when the prophet's among you, little mother? Would you like to see that? Let's look at number 16:28. The mother says she wants to see that. I think New Mother made that noise. Did New Mother make that noise? Means she wants to see it too. Stanky don't want nothing but that peanut butter jelly. What you say? You know that's okay. Number 16:28. He said, Moses said, hereby ye shall know that Yah has sent me to do all these works. For I have not done them of my own mind. So this man said he was sent to do the work. Because what was going on in number 16? You remember what was going on in number 16? Come on, look at verse 1 so we can show you what was going on in number 16. He said, now Korah, the son of Izhar, the son of Kohath, the son of Levi, and Dathan, and Abiram, the sons of Elab, and On, and the son of Peleth, the sons of Reuben, took men. And they rose up before Moses with certain men of the children of Israel, 250 princes of the assembly, famous in the congregation, men of renown, and they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron, and said unto them, you take too much upon you, seeing all the congregation of Kodesh, every one of them, and Yah is among them. Wherefore then you lift up yourselves above the congregation of Yah. So what was they doing? That's the same thing they were doing in Ezekiel. What? They were talking against him. Yeah, you claimed you wanted to hear the word, but you were running your mouth. And you know what happened, ended up happening with Korah. And what happened with Korah and Ramah? You remember? Sinkhole. That's what happened. Earth swallowed them up. And they all died. You know what I'm talking about? So when you look at them people in Ezekiel who's sitting there hearing the word and not doing it, what you think going to happen to them? They all going to die. Because that's what he was just telling them, to tell these people that y'all going to hear this word, but y'all not going to do it. And when you hear it and you're not going to do it, I'm going to get you out of here. Ain't that what he telling them? Don't be sitting around talking against my prophets whom I sent, because I sent the man. You know what I'm talking about? That's what he's just sitting here and telling them then. Let's see what the Lord says. Let's see what the Lord says. Come on around here to John 15. Everybody all right? I guess not. You will be all right. John 15. I want you to look at about verse 19. Y'all give me one moment, please. John 15, by verse 19. Look what he says. If you were of the world will love his own. But because you are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hates you. Remember the word that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. And if they've kept my saying, they will keep yours also. So now we have to sit back and look at that. While we went to this here, let's look at the law a little more. Let's go to Exodus 20. He said, if you hear what I got to say, if you keep what I say, they're going to keep what you say. Because all you telling them is what I told you to say. Because I sent you to say it. Exodus 20 and 18. Say the people saw the thunderings and the lightnings and the noise of the trumpet and the mountain smoking, and when the people saw it, they removed and stood afar off. And they said unto Moses, speak thou with us, and we will hear. But let not God speak with us, lest we die. Look what Moses said. And Moses said unto the people, fear not, for God has come to prove you, that his fear may be before your faces, that ye sin not. Because see, the people say, we don't want to hear God talking no more. We scared. We scared. We don't want to hear it. So he say, why don't you hear Moses then? Say, let Moses talk to us. Well, guess what done happened? He done sent many numerous men to this people to hear him, and they didn't hear him there. So then they period. Matter of fact, look at Zechariah 1. See what Zechariah 1 says. We'll get back to the task at hand in a minute. I think we still hold something. What it is. It's Exodus, it's Deuteronomy 32. Look at Zechariah 1 and 1. We come back to James 1. That's what we hold. Zechariah 1 and 1. Listen to what he says. In the 8th month in the 2nd year of Darius came the word of Yah unto Zechariah, the son of Bechariah, the son of Edo, the prophet, saying, Yah have been sore displeased with your fathers. Yah have been sore displeased with some of y'all. Sore displeased. Look what else he say about it. Therefore say unto them, Thus saith Yah of hosts, turn ye unto me, saith Yah of hosts, and I will turn unto you, saith Yah of hosts. He said, that's all you got to do is return. That's all you got to do. It don't get no more difficult and no more simpler than that. All you got to do is return it. He said, be not as your fathers. See, this key thing now. He said, don't be like your fathers, unto whom the former prophets have cried, saying, Thus saith Yah of hosts, turn ye now from your evil ways and from the evil of your doings. But they did not hear nor hearken unto him, saith Yah. See, that's the difference. What we read in Isaiah. Didn't he say, hearken unto me? Ye that know righteousness. So if you've been learning his word, you know a word, and you ain't listening, what that say about you? How long will you simple ones love simplicity? Wisdom, cry out in the street. Yahshua crying out in the street. Because anytime anybody preaching the word, ain't that who crying out? That's the Lord crying out. He said he spoke to us in former times by the law and the prophets, but in these last days he speak unto us by his son. So the man crying out, and he sitting here saying, you stupid individual, you stupid niggas, how long you gonna love stupidity? How long you gonna stay stupid? I'm crying right out to you. I'm crying right out to you. Listen what he tell you one more time now. He say they did not hear nor hearken unto me. Because they heard the word, but they didn't do it. They heard the word, but they didn't do it. It don't make no sense whatsoever to hear the word and not do it. Look what he telling. He say, your fathers, where are they? And the prophets, do they live forever? He say, where they at? She hungry again. That's one healthy baby. 10 pounds. So she's put on about 4 pounds. All right, that's enough. She was about 6 and change. Lee was close to 7 pounds.
She's 6'7".
6.5 pounds.
6 pounds, 6 ounces.
6.5 pounds.
6 pounds, 7 ounces.
Like I said, 6.5 pounds. So,
You only need 1 ounce to get half.
and she's up. Nevertheless. Now, where your fathers at? They don't live forever. Where the prophets at? They ain't living forever. Look what else he tell them. He said, but my words and my statutes which I commanded my servants the prophets, did they not take hold of your fathers? And they returned and said, like as Yah of hosts thought to do unto us according to our ways, according to our doing, so as he dealt with us. So you need to sit back and look at it. If your ways and actions are according to Yah's word, he'll deal with you righteously and give you eternal life. Be a sinner though. You already know what you're going to get. The man said, I'm going to get that sword to you. I'm going to give you over to the sword and to the pestilence. I'll make sure you die. Come on back to James 1. That should resonate right in your mind. If it don't bother you, there's a problem. If you know you're not where you're supposed to be at, and that don't bother you, you are a dangerous individual. I'm talking about, might as well put you on quarantine. Verse 22 one more time. He said, but be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. Because you're not deceiving God, you're deceiving yourself. If you think just because you hearing the word and you done got a little bit of information but you ain't doing it, ain't you lying to yourself? What's the worst thing for an individual to do in life? Lie to themselves. Ain't nothing worse somebody lie to their own self. It's one thing somebody lie to you. Maybe even volunteer a lie you didn't even ask for. It's another thing when you sit there and lie to yourself. Don't make no sense to lie to yourself. If you can't keep it 100 with yourself, you're definitely not going to be able to do it with nobody else. He say, for he behold himself and go his way, and straightway forget what manner of man he was. See, that's the whole key thing. You sitting there hearing the word, you done forgot you was a sinner and need deliverance. You done forgot you a man marked and crying and worthy for death. You done forgot who you were. This is what he tells him. He said, but whoso look into the perfect law of liberty and continue therein, he being not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work, This man shall be blessed in his deed. So just because you hearing the word and you ain't doing it, that's not going to get you no blessing. You're not going to get that blessing. You know, you heard it said, he said the blessings of the land that he loved, for you to be able to inherit that desolate heritage that's going to be comforted and be made like the Garden of Eden, for you to get eternal life and to be able to dwell with the living God, you're going to have to do it. Hearing ain't going to get it done. Talking about it ain't going to get it done. Posting about it ain't going to get it done. Sitting down showing people stuff ain't going to get it done. You know what I'm talking about? That's not going to get it done. You're going to have to live it. You're going to have to do it. You're going to have to do what you claim. You don't do what you claim, you got a problem. Matter of fact, come on around here to 2 Chronicles 20, I believe it is. I just want you to hear what another Zechariah said. They stoned and killed this man for this too. It's actually 24, chapter 24. I always say 20 and 24. So you're just going to toss it down to the other side there, huh? Off to the side. 2 Chronicles 24. By verse 18. He said, and they left the house of Yah, God of their fathers, and served groves and idols, and wrath came upon Judah and Jerusalem for their trespass. Look what he said now. Yet he sent prophets to them, to bring them again unto Yah, and they testified against them, but they would not give ear. It's the same thing. He's sitting here telling them the word, but they won't do it. But they won't do it. And you see the key thing is that he's son. He said he's son to do this. He said the Spirit of God came upon Zechariah, the son of Jehoiada the priest, which stood above the people, and said unto them, Thus saith God, why transgress ye the commandments of Yah, that you cannot prosper? Because you have forsaken Yah, he have also forsaken you. For some of y'all, reason why you can't prosper, because you transgressing the commandments of God. Don't make sense for God to reward a disobedient child. You're wondering why you can't get right. You're wondering why you can't get what you need, because the man sending you the word, you hearing it, but you're not doing it. You transgressing the commandment. The man say, you don't forsook me, I'm going to forsake you. So remember, we dealt with last night. Don't God take care of his own household? So if you being disobedient, that means you're not part of the household. Why would he take care of you? Just because he allow you to hear his word don't make you a part of his household. What make you a part of his household is the righteous obedience of faith. When you activate it, when you hear the word, to go do it. Not do it when it's convenient to you. Not do it when people watching, but doing it consistently 24 hours, 7 days a week. Straight up and down. That you make it your lifestyle. That you ain't no forgetful here, but you'll do all the work. That you might be blessed in your deeds. You can't be part-time serving this man. You can't serve this man when it seems good to you and then go shoot off and try to fulfill your lust and then wondering why God cracking you upside your head. You know why he's cracking you upside your head. You know why he's doing it. Because you're not going to inherit that desolate place. You're going to be left desolate if you keep trying this man and playing with him. Look what he said. Look what they want to do to the man. Say they conspired against him and stoned him with stones as the commandment of the king of the court in the house of Yah. Because people don't like to hear that righteousness. They don't like for the word to testify against him. They didn't want to hear that what he said. So we got to kill this man. Same thing they did to Yahshua then. They wanted to kill him. Matter of fact, see how we'll wait on this here. I'll wait on it. I'll work it in a different time. Come on around here to John 13 and 20. You remember anything that we holding them up? I know you focus on feeding your child. Both of them. I don't want that. I don't want it. Listen what he says. John 13 to 20. Truly, truly, I say unto you, he that receive whomsoever I send, receive me. And he that receive me, receive him that sent me. Because we already know, you can't hear without a preacher. And a preacher can't preach except he be sent. You know what I'm talking about? So there's no way in the world you're going to be able to get an opportunity to hear the word, to do it, unless somebody is sent to tell it to you. Now, when somebody's sent to tell it to you, and you still don't do it, what does that say about you? You know what that is? Look at Matthew 24. This is what it is. Don't take it for no joke now. Matthew 24. Just verse 14. That's all we want. Matthew 24 and 14. You all right over there? Stretch it out then. Stretch it. Put that slide down. Doesn't belong to Stanky. There you go. There you go. Run it on out there, buddy. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. Then we just read how he said he sent his prophets to testify against him. I mean, that's a witness against him. So guess what? God done witnessed against you. And if this man done witness against you, what does that mean if you on the wrong side of the ledger? If you know the man testified against your evil works, why would you continue to be evil? Why would you continue to be contrary? Does it make any sense? Make any sense to you? Make any sense to you? Don't make no sense to me. Come on back to Deuteronomy 33. Now we got to look at something. He said Joseph was blessed for the precious things of heaven and for the dew and for the deep that couched beneath. So we know that Joseph was blessed because he was able to take away reproach. He was able to be blessed to give us the dew of heaven. See, let's go back and look at the dew of heaven. Come on around here to Galatians 3, about verse 1. That's what just came right in here in my face, and that's what I'm going to do with it. People going hard. This is what he said. Galatians 3 and 1. O foolish Galatians, who have bewitched you, that you should not obey the truth, before whose eyes Yahshua the Messiah have been evidently set forth, crucified among you. That's the thing I need to know with some of y'all. Who done bewitched you or tried to influence you or trick you to not do what this man tell you to do? Who bewitching you to do it? Is it your own self or you listening to other people? See, Mark, now we can go ahead and read it. Come on around here to James 1. Interesting. Yeah, he shall do that. Thank the Lord. James 1, about verse 12. Blessed is the man that endured temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which Yah have promised to them that love him. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of God, for God cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempt he any man. So off the rip, you don't need to be sitting there and say God did it to you. But God can't tempt nobody. He said, but every man is tempted, and when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. So guess what? When you went and did it, that was on you, wasn't it? He says, then when lust hath conceived, it bring forth sin, and sin, when it is finished, bring forth death. Do not err, my beloved brethren. That's what you see here to sit and look at. Let's look at an example of somebody who was enticed by their own lust. Come on around here to 1 Samuel. What is it, 2 Samuel? Yeah, I think it's 2 Samuel. Let me get over here in 2 Samuel. Second Samuel, chapter 11. Yeah, and who's going to change it? Who's going to change it? 2 Samuel 11. Let's look at verse 1. Say, it came to pass that after a year was expired at the time when kings go forth to battle, that David sent Joab and his servants with him and all Israel, and they destroyed the children of Ammon and besieged Rabbah, but David tarried still at Jerusalem. And it came to pass in an evening tide that David arose from off his bed and walked upon the roof of the king's house. And from the roof he saw a woman washing herself, and the woman was very beautiful to look upon. And David sent and inquired after the woman, and one said, is this not this Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam, the wife of Uriah the Hittite? And David sent messengers and took her. And she came in unto him, and he lay with her, for she was purified from her uncleanness, and she returned unto her house. So it seemed like this. Now this man just told David the woman was married, didn't he? So what did he just do? He was enticed and drawn away of his own lust, didn't he? And now he done committed sin. And what sin bring forth? Let's go around here. We already know what he did to Uriah the Hittite. He sent him to be killed. Come over here to chapter 12. Matter of fact, before we even do that there, drop down about verse 22 in chapter 11. Matter of fact, make it about verse 14. Saying, it came to pass in the morning that David wrote a letter to Joab and sent it by the hand of Uriah. And he wrote in a letter saying, set ye Uriah in the forefront of the hottest battle, and retire ye from him, that he may be smitten and die. And it came to pass when Joab observed the city that he assigned Uriah unto a place where he knew that valiant men were. And the men of the city went out and fought with Joab, and there fell some of the people of the servants of David, and Uriah the Hittite died also. Now we can drop down to about verse 25. He says, Then David said unto the messenger, Thus thou shalt say unto Joab, Let not this thing displease thee, for the sword devour one as well as another. Make thy battle more strong against the city and overthrow it, and encourage thou him. And when the wife of Uriah heard that her husband was dead, she mourned for her husband. And when the morning was past, David sent and fetched her to his house, and she became his wife and bare him a son. But the thing that David had done had displeased Jah. So it seemed like he went all the way out with his love, didn't he? I'm going to sleep with this woman, and after I sleep with this woman, I'm going to kill this man, and then I'm going to take her and I'm going to marry her. Now we can look in chapter 12. Yah son unto Nathan unto David, sent Nathan unto David. You see what he did? He sent a man to testify against him, to bear witness against his work, didn't he? And he came unto him and said unto him, There were 2 men in one city, the one rich and the other poor. The rich man had exceeding many flocks and herds, but the poor man had nothing save one little ewe lamb, which he had brought and nourished up. And it grew up together with him and with his children. It did eat of his own meat, and drank of his own cup, and lay in his own bosom, and was unto him as a daughter. And there came a traveler unto the rich man, and he spared to take of his own flock, and of his own herd, to dress for the wayfaring man that was to come unto him. But he took that poor man's lamb, and dressed it for the man that was come to him. And David's anger was greatly kindled against the man, and he said to Nathan, As Jah live, the man that hath done this thing shall surely die.
Oh.
You smell it from that far?
Oh.
Oh, hold on, y'all. He just messed me all up. He done smelt the baby bump and just messed everything up. Now look what he just told him. Now David just said when he heard that this man should die, didn't he? For his sin. Look what the man said. He shall restore the lamb fourfold because he did, because he did this thing. And because he had no pity. And Nathan said to David, Thou art the man. Thus saith Yah, God of Israel, I have anointed thee king over Israel, and I delivered thee out of the hand of Saul. And I gave thee thy master's house and thy master's wives into thy bosom, and gave thee the house of Israel and of Judah. And if that had been too little, I would have moreover given you unto thee such and such things. Wherefore hast thou despised the commandment of Yah to do evil in his sight, that thou hast killed Uriah the Hittite with the sword, and hast taken his wife to be thy wife, and hast slain him with the sword of the children of Ammon. See, that was one thing for him to commit adultery, but you see what the thing that irked Yah the most. Not only did you lay with this woman and commit adultery, but then you sent this man up here to be killed and tried to be slick with it, so you could take his wife. And that's what some of y'all do. You don't sit up there, you try to do stuff, and you try to be slick with it. You know what I'm talking about? Transgressing the commandment of God as if he don't know what you're doing. Ain't no sense in trying to be slick with it. The man gonna find you out. Then we read last night, he said, I'm gonna surely visit your sin. Did he read that last night? He said, I'm gonna surely visit your sin. He said, your sin is gonna find you out. I'm trying to sit here and tell you, no matter what y'all think y'all be trying to do or get away with, boy, it get back to him. And guess what? And somewhere or another, it get back to me. You know what I'm talking about? Like straight up and down. So don't think you're doing stuff don't nobody know. Why wouldn't it just be more wise? Don't you think it must be more wise just to do what you're supposed to do? It'll be more wise than that. Because see, this man here, because David's supposed to die. But see, that's where the short mercies of David come in. Let's see what the Lord tells us. Let me look at verse 11. Verse 10, he said, Now therefore the sword shall never depart from thy house, because thou hast despised me, and taken the wife of Uriah the Hittite to be thy wife. Look at verse 12 though. He said, Well, thus did it secretly, but I will do this thing before all Israel and before the sun. Hold what you got. Come on around here to Luke 12. He said, Since you did it in secret, I'm going to do it in front of everybody. Yeah, you stink. That's grown people proof right there. That's grown people proof in you. Good grief. Luke 12 verse 1. Luke 12 verse 1. He said, In the meantime, when they were gathered together an innumerable multitude of people, insomuch as they trode one upon another, he began to say unto his disciples, First of all, beware ye of the leaven of the Pharisees, which is hypocrisy. And some of y'all need to be beware of that, because some of y'all got some hypocrisy in you. Don't make no sense to be no hypocrite. We just read in Revelation, the man say ain't no liars getting in his house now. You're not getting in there now. He said, For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. Ain't that what he just said with David? He said, Since you did this in secret, I'm going to do it in the open. Ain't nothing you niggas can do that it's not going to be revealed in the open, that God not going to manifest it. Ain't God light? And what does light do? It make manifest. It make manifest. Don't think it. Read it. Hear it one more time now. There is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. Therefore, whatsoever you've spoken in darkness shall be heard in the light, and that which you have spoken in the ears in the closet shall be proclaimed upon the housetop. Man say, I'm exposing. The man say, I'm exposing. I know somebody, he said he didn't like dudes that expose false prophets and all this stuff here. You know why he didn't like people who expose false prophets? What makes you think why he didn't like it? You heard him when he said it. Exactly. When you ain't got nothing to expose, you don't care about nobody exposing you. If you ain't doing nothing, somebody say, I'm going to expose you, Keanu. You think you going to care? What you going to tell them? Get to expose. You find something, you let me know. You know what I'm talking about? You send me the video. You send me the photograph. What about you? Say, what say you? Somebody say they going to expose you, Dwight. What you going to tell them? Huh? Make sure they got on pants. Why is that? Because then you're like, oh, you talking about you nasty man. Oh man, that's your husband. That's your husband. Look at this, that's your husband. Yeah, that's your husband. So make sure you know that. You know what I'm talking about? But see, we talking about literally how the book talking about pulling up. Matter of fact, come on around here to the Nahum.
Well, you know how they gonna get something.
Yeah, I know what you meant. We wasn't looking for that though.
Yeah, I know you wasn't.
This
is why I'm here.
That's why you here? We fired.
No, fired.
Yeah, and that's the worst part. How you get fired from a job you ain't even had?
Can't get fired from a job you never had.
Yeah, but you just did. Nahum 3. Make it verse 3. Matter of fact, make it verse 1. Listen to what the man say now. He say, woe to the bloody city, it's full of lies and robbery, the prey depart not. I would like to see it. You don't want to be there getting that destruction of that city because you full of lies and robbery, always trying to steal and get over, conniving and being malicious. He say the noise of a whip and the noise of the rattling of the wheels and the prancing of horses and the jumping of chariots. The horsemen lift up the bright sword and the glittering spear. And there's a multitude of slain, a great number of carcasses. There's none end of their corpses. They stumble upon their corpse. Because of the multitude of whoredoms, because of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcraft that sell nations through her whoredoms and families through her witchcraft. Behold, I'm against thee. And saith Yahweh host, I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will show the nations thy nakedness and the kingdoms thy shame. And I will cast abominable filth upon thee and make thee vile, and will set thee as a gazing stock. And you have to sit there and consider that there. You got all them witchcraft, that rebellion in you. All that whoredom seeking after your lust, that man said, I'm going to expose you in front of everybody, and everybody going to see your nakedness and your shame. You know what I'm talking about? Because that's what he was telling David, wasn't it? I'm going to show you your shame. See, come on around here to 1 Corinthians 3rd chapter. Verse 13. He said, every man's work shall be made manifest, for the day shall declare it, because it shall be revealed by fire, and the fire shall try every man's work of what sort it is. So you better know what that word coming, because he said fiery law coming with him. Man say, I'm gonna purge you by the spirit of burning. Remember that we did baptism, water, and fire? He said, I'm gonna try you by the spirit of fire. I'm gonna see what type of work you work. I'm gonna see what type of work you work. So when you're dealing with some precious metals and you put some fire to it, what happened to it? What? You know what happened? When you put some fire to a precious metal, it gets purified. You can use it. You know what happens when you put some fire to a piece of paper? So you're trying to insult me right now. Is that what you're trying to do? So you're a smart guy. Stanky, take another poop, how your daddy changes. What happens when you light up a piece of paper, man? What happens to the paper? Projectile. So you're going to play this game? So how long are you going to play this game? So you mean to tell me you don't know what happens when you take a lighter and you put it to a piece of paper?
Ask me what happens.
I'm asking.
Yeah, I asked you.
What do you think this is? You think this is Abbott and Costello right now?
I didn't know what that is. No, I did not think it was.
Yeah, you think it's Abbott and Costello.
I can't think of something, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, you think this is Abbott and Costello. It disintegrates, right? This is no good use, right? Just like you are right now. Just like you are right now. So you got to sit there and look at it. When this man come back here to try your works, what's going to happen? You going to stand and remain, or you going to be burnt up? What thing you going to happen? What's going to happen with you? You ain't got to worry about it. I'm going to burn you before you get here. Man on fire. I'm going to set you burn. I'm going to burn you alive. You have to get you some skin grafts. You want some skin grafts?
I need skin grafts, I'm going to be dead.
No, I'm going to make sure you live. You're going to get 4th degree burns. I ain't never even heard of 4th degree burns. But you're going to get fourth degree burns.
Hard?
Yeah, either way it goes. You're going to have 4th degree burns.
Hard.
Slap your daddy for me, thank you. Slap your daddy.
I'm going to slap back. Slap you.
You ain't going to slap me? Slap him with that book. Take his phone too. He don't want it. Look at her. She knows she ain't supposed to have it. Look at her face. Look at her face. Yep. See how she slid it right back over there? Because she knows what time it is. Better get your book though, so she tell the page. Now let's look at something here. Drop down about verse 18 though. Say, let no man deceive himself. If any man among you seem to be wise in this world, let him become a fool that he may be wise. If you think you're getting ahead in this world, you need to become a fool. Look what else Paul did. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. For it is written that he take the wise in their own craftiness. And again, the Lord knows the thoughts of the wise, that they are vain. So this is the whole key thing. You need to be glorying in the Lord. And if you're going to glory in the Lord, you need to be taking heed to his word. Because the man just told you, I'm going to show you what you've been doing in the dark time. I'm going to show you what you be doing in the dark. Look down here in verse 13 of 2 Samuel chapter 12. And I want you to see where David take responsibility for his transgression too. We read in Psalm 51 where he takes responsibility for his transgression. That's what you need to do. Take responsibility for what you're doing and then cease from the activity. David said unto Nathan, I have sinned against Yah. And Nathan said unto David, Yah have also put away thy sin. Thou shalt not die. So you see this here? He forgave him his sin, but we didn't read some of the things where he gonna smash him for what he did. You're just not going to commit sin and get away with it. Psalm 51. Then we'll look at Isaiah 55. And we'll work our way back to Deuteronomy 33. I'm putting him up in the bed. Verse 1. Have mercy upon me, O God, according to thy loving kindness, according to the multitude of thy tender mercies, blot out my transgressions. Wash me thoroughly from my iniquity and cleanse me from my sin. For I acknowledge my transgression, and my sin is ever before me. Now, there's no way in the world you're going to be saved you don't acknowledge your transgression. See, David acknowledged his. And then he didn't do it no more. Just like the Lord told them people when he healed them, go and sin no more. Come over here to Isaiah 55. Now, you're always laughing. I don't see anything funny. Isaiah 55 and about verse 1. Ho, everyone that thirsts, come ye to the water. Now the man saying, if you thirsting, why you ain't coming to the water? This gonna make sense in a minute. Don't make no sense to be thirsty and don't come to the water. You say you want the Spirit, why you ain't coming to the Word? Why are you sitting there hearing it? Better get that book. Somebody better get that book. Why is you hearing the Word and not doing it? Why is you hearing it and not doing it? He said, he that have no money, come ye buy and eat. Yea, come, buy wine and milk without money and without price. Wherefore do you spend money for that which is not bread? And do you labor for that which satisfy not? Hearken diligently unto me, and eat ye that which is good, and let your soul delight itself in fatness. Come on, hold this and look at Jeremiah 15. And we appreciate you, Lord. Extricated from her possession. Because after a few minutes, pages coming out of that book. Jeremiah 15, about verse 16. Listen what he tell you. Thy words were found, and I did eat them. And thy word was unto me a joy and rejoicing of my heart. For I am called by thy name, O Yah Elohim of hosts. So this is the same thing he just told you right here. You need to eat that which is good. You need to eat that which is good. But see, some of y'all don't want to eat that which is good. Come over here to 1 Corinthians, the 10th chapter. This is what you're still doing. You're still sitting down meddling with sin and things that defile. Verse 21. 1 Corinthians 10 and 21. Listen to what he tells you. You cannot drink the cup of the Lord and the cup of devils. You cannot be partakers of the Lord's table and the table of devils. Do we provoke the Lord to jealousy? Are we stronger than he? He said you can't do both now. You're not going to be able to do both. Because the man done told you a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. If you're going to be a God, be a God. If you're going to be of the world, be of the world. If Satan going to be your daddy, then let him be your daddy. Don't be around here trying to pretend like y'all your daddy. If Satan going to be your father, let him be your father then. Because you can't sit down to the Lord's table and then try to sit down at Satan's table trying to say you walking with the Lord. You're not going to be able to do it. Your sin is eventually going to prove you out. He's going to manifest it right there in your face. Go back to Isaiah 55, because the man just told you need to hearken diligently. That means quickly. No hesitation, no procrastinate. Hearken diligently and eat the word which is good. He said, incline your ear and come unto me. Hear, and your soul shall live, and I will make an everlasting covenant with you, even the sure mercies of David. See, let's go on around here, and let's come over here, and we done heard it before. Let's look at what the Lord tell you in Matthew 11. This man say, just come unto me. Just come unto me. Matthew 11 and 28. Just listen to what he tell you. That's all we're going to read. We're going to read the rest of it. This is Matthew 11 and 28. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Man, say all you got to do is come to him. That's all you got to do. But see, you know what the problem is with this people? We don't be wanting to hear. You want to hear the word, but you don't want to do the word. Matter of fact, go to Romans 2 and 13. Romans 2 and 13. Romans 2 and 13. And he says, for not the hearers of the law are just before God, but the doers of the law shall be justified. Now how are you going to seek to be justified with God if you're not doing his word? When the man telling you repeatedly to hearken. If we went through this book all the multitudes of times that this man said hearken unto him, you're going to be feeling extra shame about yourself. Come over here to Mark the 7th chapter. So that's how you roll? I think you're a little too big for that. I think your time for that particular item passed a good while ago. Listen what he tells us. Just for the same thing, because he told you to hearken unto him and come diligently to what he said. Listen what the Lord tells you. And when he called all the people unto him, Mark 7 and 14. And when he called all the people unto him and said unto them, hearken unto me every one of you and understand. You heard what he tell you? He said you need to listen to me, and then not only listen, you need to understand what I'm telling you. Absolutely not. Depart from me. There's nothing from without a man that entering into him can defile him. But the things which come out of him, those are they that defile the man. If any man have ears to hear, let him hear. So you need to sit there and look at it. It ain't nothing you got going on outside of you that's got you committing sin. Everything that's got you committing sin, that came straight out your heart. That came straight out your heart. Ain't nobody fault wrong but yours. It ain't nobody fault but yours. Come on here to 1 John, 1st chapter. Then we go back to Deuteronomy 33. 1 John 1 and 6. Make it 5. Hey. How you doing? Yes, you. Little baby. stuck right now, aren't you? He said, this is the message which we have heard of him and declare unto you that God is light and in him is no darkness at all. Ain't nowhere in the world you're going to say you are God and you're a child of God and you got sin in you. Because ain't no darkness in the living God. He ain't of the light. He ain't of the life. He already told you, hearken unto me. He done gave you judgment and light for the people. To call you out of darkness, to call you out of sin. He said, if we say that we have fellowship with him and walk in darkness, we lie and do not the truth. But if we walk in the light as he is in the light, you have fellowship one with another, and the blood of Yahshua the Messiah, his son, cleanse us from all sin. If you want your sin to be forgiven, then you need to start walking in the light. If you want your sin to be forgiven and to be wiped out, you need to start doing what you're supposed to be doing. That means you need to start hearing, not hearing the word, but doing the word. You heard he say, hearken and understand. See, look at Psalms 111 and 10. Let's see what understanding is. This one's crazy child. A child who's crazy. Psalms 111 and 10. He said, the fear of Yah is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. His praise endure forever. You're going to have a good understanding when you hear God's word and do it, now won't you? Because not only when you do the word, then you can be able to begin to see your Savior in the word then. When in the beginning, when you started doing it, you couldn't see the Lord in the book because you little mother. But as you began to do the word and your understanding began to be open because of your belief and obedience, you began to see him there. And we know that he came to give us an understanding. So you have to sit there and look at it. Why is you hearkening to the word, but then you ain't getting no understanding with it? Because you're not doing it. You hearing it, but you're not doing it. It sounds good to you, but your heart going after your covenant. It's going after your lust. Okay then, little crazy little baby. Come on back over here and do Deuteronomy 33. The precious things of heaven for the dew. That's what we were looking at. Go back to Galatians 3. That's where we was at. We were dealing with people bewitching you. Thank the Lord. He brought it back to mind. We're in verse 2. He said, this only would I learn of you. Received ye the Spirit by the works of the law or by the hearing of faith? Are ye so foolish, having begun in the Spirit, are you now made perfect by the flesh? Have you suffered so many things in vain, if it be yet in vain? So now he's sitting here telling you, can you get the Spirit by keeping the commandments alone? Absolutely not. You're not going to get the Spirit by keeping the commandments alone. It's got to be your faith. It's got to be your obedience to the word. You know what I'm talking about? Without your obedience to the word, there's going to be no Spirit receiving because you don't believe. Hold on one second, y'all. Never mind. So you're not going to be able, because you got to be able to sit here. You have to see the word and you have to believe the word. See, look at Psalm 78 if I'm not mistaken. Psalm 78 and 22. That's all we want. This is what he tells you. He said, because they believed not God and trusted not in his salvation. That's why a lot of them be being bewitched and you not being made perfect. Because you don't trust God and you don't believe it. You don't trust in Yahshua for your salvation. See, come on back here to John 8 and look what the Lord told you. Look what he told you. Let's just see what he told you. John 8 and about verse 24. Make it 23. And he said unto them, you are from beneath, and I am from above. You are of this world, I am not of this world. So he letting it be known. He said, I'm from the dew of heaven. He the dew of heaven. He says, I said therefore unto you that you shall die in your sins. If you believe not that I am you, you shall die in your sins. This is the key thing he just said. You're going to perish now. Because you didn't believe in God. You didn't trust in his salvation. Because what does Yahshua's name mean? Tell him what it means, right, for 200, please. Yahshua means Yah salvation, or Yah saves. See, look at what he told you in Psalms 2 and 12. Huh? Who said it was anything about $200? It could have been 200 points, 200 hand claps, 200 high fives.
Whatever it was, I want my 200 right now.
All right, it was actually 200 elbows. I'll be surely glad to pay you. 200 elbows. Look at you. I hear you talking. Yeah, that's because we have to use that for the Ustream to come up, buddy. I don't know the password. I'm just telling you, we have to get to the Ustream channel. All right. Well, guess what? Next time you come around here, I'm gonna show you that. And when I show you that, you're gonna owe me 30 push-ups. How about that? Say, kiss the Son, lest he be angry, and you perish from the way. When his wrath is kindled, but a little. Blessed are all they that put their trust in him. How you gonna sit here and say you got trust in the Lord and you don't believe in his Son? Because his Son told you to hearken to him, didn't he? He the voice of Judah. He said, hear ye him. So when this man tells you, don't fornicate, don't commit sin, don't tell lies, don't blaspheme, don't break the Sabbath, don't be malicious, don't be covetous, don't have an evil eye. You don't do these things, guess what? You buck the Son. So when you buck the Son, guess who you really buck? Now this man say his anger going to be kindled and you going to perish from the way. Because you didn't believe in it and you didn't trust in his salvation. Because you're going to have to trust in the Lord to be able to be saved. How you going to be able to be saved if you don't trust in the Lord? How that going to work? How that's going to work? Anybody got an idea how that's going to work? You think that's going to be able to work, Lamar? You think we're going to be able to execute anything with that? What about you over there, Jim Bandit? Now he don't want to talk because he wanted 200, whatever it's going to be. It could have been 200 jumping jacks. That's what you want? 200 jumping jacks? I ain't doing no jumping jacks. Come on around here to Matthew 12. Indeed it is. That's what I've been told. Those are mountain climbers. Done mountain climbing time too. I bet you did plenty of them in what you call it.
I did plenty of workouts, period.
I'm talking about in the Air Force. I know in what they call it. In boot camp, I know mountain climbers is a staple for the Army from what I've been told. Huh? Yeah, y'all do the same thing. Matthew 12. Look at verse 21. How to fight. Let's look at about verse 14. He said, the Pharisees went out and held a council against him how they might destroy him. But when Yahshua knew it, he withdrew himself from thence, and great multitudes followed him, and he healed them all. And he charged them that they should not make him known, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by Isaiah the prophet, saying, behold, my servant whom I have chosen, my beloved. Remember we just dealt with that beloved, didn't it? My beloved, in whom my soul is well pleased, I will put my spirit upon him, and he will show judgment to the Gentiles. Hold and go to Isaiah 41, where he's speaking from. Well, Isaiah 42, actually. Verse 1. Hey, little Stanky, what you got there? Is that a cookie? Yes, sir. Or are you just eating cheese? Oh, man. Oh, man. Sugar wafers? This kid's going to be on 10 in a minute. On a natural high. That's natural. Glucose. Behold, my servant, whom I uphold, my elect, in whom my soul delights. I put my spirit upon him. He shall bring forth judgment to the Gentile. He shall not cry, nor lift up, nor cause his voice to be heard in the street. A bruised reed shall he not break, and the smoking flax shall he not quench. He shall bring forth judgment unto the truth. And this is what he was talking about. You know what he was talking about? Because he didn't tell these people who he was. See, go over here and look at Philippians 2. See, that's what some of y'all want to do. You want to make a reputation of yourself. You want everybody to know you're righteous. So you ain't got to do all that. True servants of God don't do all that. You ain't got to point no finger to yourself. Your work's going to show you out. Philippians 2 and 7. He said, but made himself of no reputation, and took upon him the form of a servant. That's what y'all got to sit there and consider. You need to take on the form of a servant. Because what do children do to their parents? They serve them, don't they? They follow their parents' instructions, and they do as they indicated. Matter of fact, hold this here and look at the law. Go to Exodus 20 and look at the law. Exodus 20 and 12. Look at you. You don't want nothing on your hands. Look out. Exodus 20 and 12. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which Yah thy God gives it. The reason why y'all know why he gave y'all this commandment? Why do you think the Most High gave you this commandment? To honor your father and your mother. Exactly, because if you can't even respect and obey your parents on earth, ain't no way in the world you can respect and obey your father in heaven. There's no way you're going to be able to do it. Then he say that your days might be long. Don't you know if you honor your father in heaven, your days going to be long? Because everyone who honor him, he going to honor them backhand. Everyone who honor his son, they going to be honored by it. And you have to sit back and look at that. If you want the blessings of heaven to fall upon your head like they fell upon Joseph to dwell in that land which he blessed, you're going to have to start doing something. You're going to have to start giving this man his proper respect, folks. Whoa. Hold on out there, you know. That makes sense for any of y'all? That makes sense for everybody. Come on back to verse 7 of Philippians 2. We go back to Isaiah 42. Look at her. Look at the new baby. Look how she looking. Verse 7. But he made himself of no reputation, and took upon him the form of a servant, and was made in the likeness of men. It would make sense, because we already read Isaiah, and Matthew confirming that. He's telling these people, don't make it known who I am. You don't need to be running around telling people this, that. Somebody ask you, you be like this here, yeah, I'm a Jew. You want to know why I say that? Look at 1 Peter 3. If somebody asks you. There's one thing, but you ain't got to make it be known, because truth be told, don't nobody care. And when you round there putting it out there that this is what you doing, guess what's going to happen? What you think people going to do when you go to broadcast and this is what you do? They're going to be watching you. And then they're going to be watching to see if you do something you ain't got no business. And the minute they do, then that's going to happen. What he got the telescope? Watching it. And guess what? Same thing. We go back and read it. Ain't the first time I told it to you, but he done put it in my mind. I'm going to tell you again. Verse 14 of the 3rd chapter of First Epistle of Peter. Chapter 3 about verse 14. He said, but and if you suffer for righteousness' sake, happy are ye. Be not afraid of the terror, neither be troubled. But sanctify Yah in your hearts, and be ready always to give an answer to every man that asks you for reason of the hope that is in you with meekness and fear. So I ain't talking about just breaking down those scriptures. He's saying humbleness and in your respect for God, let people know why you got your hope in God if you're suffering for righteousness' sake. Or if somebody asks you, well, why you do this here and why you do this here? This is why I do it. You ain't got to be broadcasting this to the people, because truth be told, nobody cares. They most of them going to feel like you putting on to try to impress them. This ain't out here. This ain't no competition and get no and to impress nobody. Ain't but one person you need to be trying to impress. That's your Father in heaven. That's the only person you need to be trying to impress. He said, having a good conscience. How many of y'all can say right now you got a good conscience towards God? You feel like you got a good conscience towards Him? What about you? Yeah, I can respect it. Any of y'all feel like y'all got a good conscience towards God? This baby here. How many of y'all feel like you got a baby? Ain't no need to. This ain't no rhetorical question. How many of y'all feel like y'all got a good conscience toward God? Because if you ain't got a good conscience toward God, you got a problem then. You got a problem then. Look what he tell you now. Having a good conscience, that whereas they speak evil of you as evildoers, they may be ashamed that falsely accuse your good behavior in the Messiah. For it is better if the will of God be so that you suffer for well-doing than for evil-doing. He said it's better for God. Now, praise the Lord. Now I'm going to show y'all something. Come on back here to, let's go over here to Luke 6. Since this hit my mind. He said it's better for you to suffer for doing good than for doing wrong. He said then you got to have a good behavior, because when these people falsely accuse you for your good behavior in the Messiah, they're going to be condemned. But if these people going off on you because you doing stuff you ain't got no business, then what's happening? Hold on, before we look at that, look at 2 Samuel 12 one more time. 2 Samuel 12 and about verse 14. No more wafers for stankies. No more bananas for stankies. No, I will not put it in the trash. So make it to the floor. He said, howbeit, because this deed thou hast given great occasion to the enemies of Yah to blaspheme, the child also that is born unto thee shall surely die. Please know when y'all around here claiming that, man, you doing stuff you ain't got no business, you give the people who hate God, that's in y'all circles and who y'all deal with, y'all give them opportunity to blaspheme. Please know that you do. Please don't think that it's getting away with you, that this man ain't being blasphemed. What I asked for before this, you remember?
Luke, I can't remember which one.
Oh, you remember. Huh? What it was I was just looking at. Oh, yeah, it was Luke. Luke chapter 6. Luke chapter 6 and verse 26. 6 and 26. He said, woe unto you when all men shall speak well of you, so did their fathers to the false prophets. See, that's something you got to sit back. If everybody's speaking well of you, you got a problem. That means you ain't doing what you're supposed to be doing. He said, but I say unto you which hear, love your enemies and do good to them which hate you. Bless them that curse you and pray for them which despitefully use you. Now you heard the man that told you? He said you need to love your enemies and do good to the people who hate you. Look at Proverbs 25. Then we'll shoot right on back around here to an example of it. Proverbs 25. Look at your baby. Look at your baby. Proverbs 25 and 21. He said, if thy enemy be hungry, give him bread to eat, and if he be thirsty, give him water to drink. For thou shalt heap coals of fire upon his head, and Yah shall reward thee. So you have to keep that in mind. This is what he's telling you. This is where the Lord getting this from. Like a lot of people just think the Lord was telling you this here, but now you see scripture back it, right? But now we need to see a living example of it. Let's go around here to 1 Samuel. I want to say about 1 Samuel. Look at about verse 10 of the 18th chapter. Make it verse 8. Yeah, chapter 18, verse 8. 1 Samuel 18 and 8. Because remember, Yahshua telling you, remember he's from the seed of who? David, right? So he would have to tell us to do things to show forth the similitude of his father David, the same things that he did. He said, Saul was very wroth, and the saying displeased him. And he said, they ascribed unto David 10,000, and to me they ascribed but thousands. What could he have more but the kingdom? And Saul eyed David from that day forth. And it came to pass on the morrow that the evil spirit from God came upon Saul, and he prophesied in the midst of the house. And David played with his hand at other times, and there was a javelin in Saul's hand. And Saul cast the javelin, for he said, I will smite David even to the wall with it. And David avoided out of his presence twice. And Saul was afraid of David because Yah was with him and was departed from Saul. Therefore Saul removed him from him and made him his captain over 1,000. And he went out and came in before the people. He said, and David behaved himself wisely in all his ways, and Yah was with him. See, that's the key thing we got to look at. You got to be able to behave yourself wisely in all your ways for God to be with you. And what we just hear, to fear Yah, the beginning of wisdom then. So your respect and obedience to God will allow you to operate all wisely in all your ways. So a lot of times we be trying to do things to get outside the wisdom of God, and then you wonder why God ain't with you. No, that makes sense to you? Alrighty then. Let me look at an example where he showed mercy unto his enemies. Let's see an example where David did this here. Now, in fact, we'll show two of them with that matter. We'll find this one here with Saul here. Let's look at here. 2 Samuel 24. No, you get them fries, man. Get them fries, man. Get them fries, man. Snake here.
You had a large hand trying to.
I have an average size hand.
No, you had a large hand trying to call a lot of them. You went in there like this here. Wasn't going there like this here. You went in there like this here. You went like this.
This guy. 2 Samuel 24. About verse 13. Matter of fact, make it about verse 9. Matter of fact, I'll make it verse 7. So David stayed his servant with these words, and suffered them not to rise against Saul. But Saul rose up out of the cave and went on his own way. David also rose afterwards and went out of the cave, and cried after Saul, saying, My lord the king. And when Saul looked behind him, David stooped with his face to the earth and bowed himself. And David said to Saul, Wherefore hear thou men's words, saying, Behold, David, seek thy hurts. Behold, this day thine eyes have seen now that Yah delivered thee today into my hand and in the cave. And some bade me kill thee, but my eyes spared thee. And I said, I will not put forth my hand against my Lord, for he is Yah's anointed. So you know he's taking heed to the law too, ain't he? I'm in 1 Samuel. I'm sorry.
Okay.
24 and 10. But you see what he just did right there? He said, I'm not going to kill him because this Yah's anointed. See how he decided that he behaved himself wisely in all his ways?
No, we didn't see it.
I'm about to kick me somebody.
Kick yourself.
No, I'm going to just kick you. Because I want to. I whoop you because I want to. Because I want to. Because I want to. We'll read that part again, verse 9.
Yeah, probably best. Then we can see.
Shut up before I slap you. Give my baby some fries and give them to her now. She said, you ain't got to give me, I'm taking it. Take your sweet potato fries, thank you. She took that with some aggression. No, why you play with the baby food, man? The dip for the sweet potato fries. So David stayed his servant, verse 7. So David stayed his servant. Matter of fact, look at verse 1. It came to pass when Saul was returned from following the Philistines, it was told from saying, Behold, David is in the wilderness and in Gedi. Then Saul took 3,000 chosen men out of Israel and went to seek David and his men upon the rocks of the wild goat. So this man already, when we look back at Luke 6, this is somebody who's, obviously this is David's enemy, right? He want to kill him. Obviously this man wants to despitefully use him. Go back to Luke 6 and look at verse 29. Listen to what he says. He's saying, Unto him that smite thee on the one cheek, offer also the other, and to him that take away thy cloak, forbid not to take thy coat also. So don't you think if this man was throwing javelins at him, and David turned the cheek, because David could have killed him, didn't he? But he told him, when he's telling you to turn the other cheek, he's telling you to have mercy on somebody when somebody do evil to you. He ain't just telling you somebody walk up and slap fire from you, just sit there and be like, here, slap the other side of my face. Because we know ain't none of these men, and we read this book, going to go for that. Even when they slapped the Lord, what he told him. He said, look here, man, if I spoke contrary and you slapped me, that's all well and good. He said, but if not, what you put your hands on me for? Ain't know what he told him. That would seem like he contradicted his own words right there when he said turn the other cheek. He would have tell him, hey, man, somebody do some evil to you, man. You ain't got to return them evil for evil. We just read that in Proverbs. He said the same thing. But like I said, now, dude put his hands on the Lord. Lord said, what you slapped me for, man? You got to remember one thing for certain now. These men wasn't cowards now, was it? We know David wasn't no coward. We know Moses wasn't no coward. You just wasn't finna walk up to Yahshua and be like, here, BOOM! Now turn your other cheek. You don't turn another cheek with you now. Peter was right there with him. What Peter did? Peter off that fire. What you want me to do, Lord? Smite with the sword. What did the Lord tell him? He said, no, Peter, those that live by the sword are going to perish by the scriptures got to be fulfilled. He said, now what he told him? He said, if my kingdom wasn't of this world, what they were going to do? Huh? They were going to fight. He said, my kingdom is not of this world. He said, if it would, my servants would fight. You know what I'm talking about? If the kingdom of the living God was a flesh and blood, earthly, carnal, naturally minded kingdom, Peter and the rest of them boys would have got it in. He said, but my kingdom's not of this world, so we not going to fight. It's not the time for this. You understand what he's telling me? So that's letting you know when he told you ain't nobody finna walk up and just slap the Lord now. Don't let these people sit there and make you think that man was a coward. Wasn't nobody finna just walk up and slap the Lord now. That just wasn't gonna happen. Oh yeah, verse 3. We're going back here to verse 7. So David stayed in service with these words, and suffered them not to rise against Saul. But Saul rose up out the cave and went on his way. David also rose afterwards and went out the cave, and cried after Saul, saying, my lord the king. And when Saul looked behind him, David stooped with his face to the earth and bowed himself. And David said to Saul, wherefore hear thou men's words, saying, behold, David seek thy hurt. Behold, this day thy eyes have seen how that Yah have delivered thee today in my hand, and in the cave, and some bade me kill thee, but my eyes spared thee. And I said, I will not put forth my hand against my Lord, for he is Yah's anointed. Moreover, my father, see ye the skirt of thy robe in my hand. For in it that I cut off the skirt of thy robe, and killed thee not. Know thou and see that there is neither evil nor transgression in my hand, and I have not sinned against thee, yet thou hunt my soul to take it. Listen what he tells you. Yah judge between me and thee, and Yah avenge me of thee, but my hand shall not be upon thee. This is why the Lord told you to love your enemies, and bless them that curse you, and those that despitefully use you. Because he said, the Lord, you need to know who you need to put your trust in, he who judges righteously. He said, let the Lord judge between me and you. That's what a lot of y'all ain't willing to do. Somebody do some evil to you, or try to use you, or curse you and do something to you, and you want to stand up and defend yourself, or do this, that, there, and the other. He just say, man, let y'all judge between me and you, man. How many, you think you can handle doing that? Letting y'all judge between you and somebody else if they came at you wrong? You think you can handle that? You think you can handle that? Huh? You don't know? I mean, I'm talking about if somebody, this man just ain't walk up and slap him. This man was trying to kill him. He did nothing to this man. He said, you know what? I could have avenged myself on you. I could have did this. But he said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to let y'all judge between me and you. And I'm going to let him avenge me. Because even though I could have did something to you, I didn't do it. You know what I'm talking about? When you have an opportunity to get back at somebody because they did something to you. I ain't talking about somebody because they slapped you. Now, that's just an extreme experience. Because ain't nobody just walking up slapping people.
Yes, yeah.
I ain't talking about them. That's not slapping.
Same difference.
No. There's a major difference. Because
came up to you and just try to knock you out.
But see, there's a difference. Because if somebody comes to slap another man, you know what that means?
Somebody just come and try to knock you out.
I'm saying, you're not understanding what I'm telling you. There's a difference between punching and slapping. Do you understand what that means?
That's not effect. We're talking about somebody striking you. We're just going to use the word strike rather than slap or punch.
So you want to talk about someone smites me? Ain't nobody going to smite me. I ain't going to be at the red box. You ain't never thought that the Lord would protect his servants and let not somebody come up and knock you out like that? You ever thought about that?
That's right. If you're at the gym. You know what I'm saying? You're just doing somebody. You put your shoulder too hard on somebody, or they just turn around and just.
You drop the weight.
Ain't nobody gonna do nothing to me. No, you know that sitting away. Ain't nobody gonna do nothing. You know what's gonna move somebody who do something to me? When that word comes. That's when they gonna be moved to do something. That's when they go to give you them looks like, boy, I hate this nigga. I hope he asks me to give him a spot so I can drop the ball in his throat. No, that be you in the coat looking all crazy and ugly when nigga foul you. Huh?
Really?
Oh, you just did it about 3 weeks ago.
Oh, when they continue, that's when I get
No, suck it up and be a man.
Sure. You suck it up.
Yeah, I do. Doesn't bother me.
You don't get raped like me.
Huh?
You don't get raped like me.
It doesn't bother me.
It will.
No, it doesn't. And it's been bothering me in about 16, 17 years. Why would it start now? Ain't nothing but a little body contact. Ain't never hurt nobody. I just come in stronger.
Cold drunk. If you was a high flyer like me and someone continually tries to undercut you, you'll get pretty aggravated.
Ain't nobody gonna undercut me because I ain't gonna give you the opportunity to do so. You know, it's called being a little bit discreet there, a little tight.
No, it's called not having hump. That's what that is.
You say what you want. Ain't nobody gonna undercut me.
If you're a high flyer like me,
You're not even a high flyer.
I fly high.
Look at this nigga, he can dunk a basketball. You think you're not a high flyer? You ain't jumping out the gym.
No one's jumping out the gym.
You know what that means.
Yeah.
And you're not
No
doing
one's
it.
jumping out the gym.
And you're not doing it. Yeah, we know you're not. You don't got no 40-inch vertical.
How many people do?
Quite a few.
Not really.
Quite a few.
Barnum's on 40 inch.
Yeah. I don't know. Don't go by the video game.
He's not video game. He doesn't have 40 inch.
How
A
long
lot of
is
people
that?
don't have a 40 inch.
That's quite a few.
No,
All right, give it a raise.
NFL players got it.
Those NFL players.
So you're not jumping out of the gym.
They're not jumping out the gym.
You're not jumping out of the gym. You're not a jumper, man. Just suck it up, man. Suck it up. Stop being a
You
crybaby.
got a real fly here around here.
Stop being a crybaby. Verse 13.
This is what it seems like to have a hate.
Listen what this man said. You just a crybaby, man.
Look at his dark core around, just hating.
He said, as the proverb of the ancients, wickedness proceeds from the wicked, but my hand shall not be upon thee. Ain't that what he was just telling you, not to put your hand upon thee? Look at Matthew 6 and how he said it. Look at Matthew 6. He mad because he can't jump, y'all. They say white man can't jump. We just gonna say this white boy can't jump. That one right there. You don't want to say that's how you manipulate the word to say your name. I just using your stuff, so you boo yourself. Matter of 5 actually, verse 43. Matter of fact, make it 39. Make it 38. He said, you have heard that it's been said, eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth. Basically, what you do, you get back. That's the law, right? That's what it says. He said, but I say unto you that you resist not evil, but whosoever shall smite thee on the right cheek, turn to them the other also. You mean it like this here? All you got to do is don't do nothing. Because did Yahshua fight against evil when they came against him? He didn't do nothing. We seeing David do the same thing. This man will come and kill him. And this is one instance that we're looking at. This is numerous occasions. We know Saul tried to kill this man numerous times. He had numerous times to kill Saul and he didn't do it. He said, if any man will sue thee at the law and take away thy coat, let him have thy cloak also. What this is talking about is, if you have a dispute with somebody in the law, and let's say, hey man, I gave him this here, and you know, so we'll go over it one day more in detail, and he won that judgment, the same way you got people who sue each other and they run the judgment, that's where they get it from. They get it from God's law. He said, well, guess what? If the judgment say for you to give him a coat, he said, give him your cloak also. Give him your hood too. You know what I'm talking about? Give him a little extra. Send him on his way. He said, whosoever shall compel thee to go a mile, go with him twain. Give to them that ask thee, and from him that borrow thee, turn not away. So he said, somebody asks you for something, they ask to borrow something, he said, don't even turn away. Now, if we telling you to do this here to the point where you be poor and destitute, you know what I'm talking about? Now, use some wisdom now. Somebody asks you for something, don't be like, man, I don't want to give to. Go and give it to him. Look what he telling. You've heard that it's been said, thou shalt love thy neighbor and hate thy enemy. But I say unto you, love your enemies, and bless them that curse you, and do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you, and persecute you. Was not he doing that with David? David was doing that with Saul, even with Yahshua. He said, I prayed for them. He said, my own prayer came back into my book. That's what he said, didn't he? Look at Psalm 35. Psalm 35 and verse 11. He say, false witnesses did rise up. They laid to charge things I knew not. They rewarded me evil for good, to the spoiling of my soul. But as for me, when they were sick, my clothing was sackcloth. I humbled my soul with fasting, and my prayer returned into my own bosom. I behaved myself as though he had been my friend or brother. I bowed down heavily as one that mourned for his mother. But in my adversity they rejoiced and gathered themselves together. Yea, the abjects gathered themselves together against me. I knew it not. They did tear me and ceased not. Now what you think they're talking about? Didn't he sit down when he made that prayer? He prayed for Judas too, didn't he? He said, I prayed for him, and he said, I behaved myself as though he was my friend or brother. He didn't treat it evilly, did he? Just when Judas said something, he said, you said it. What you got to do, go do it then, didn't he? But did he treat Judas like a brother? Huh? Can we read anywhere where he did Judas evil, even though he knows Judas was going to betray him? Can you read that? We can read in John 17 him praying for him, didn't he? Nevertheless, he had to fall. You're not a whore. So you're just going to lift it back up anyway, don't you? Now you're captured. Break free. Come on back to Psalm 1 Samuel. Depart from me. Go your way. Run away. Instead of pulling your shirt up. That's your baby.
Yeah,
What?
you know, same thing you did.
Yeah, I seen that earlier. She hit it to the side, but she was pulling it up for the button. I can give you that. I give you that. I seen that earlier. I said, no, she ain't never seen her do the sides here.
You said what?
Never seen her do the sides here.
I'm talking about what?
1 Samuel 24. Look what he said in verse 16.
First Samuel?
Yeah, 1 Samuel 24.
Not
Verse 16.
Second Samuel.
Yeah, 2 Samuel Eve. Foot. Which one you want? It don't matter. I kick you with either one. And it came to pass when David had made an end of speaking these words, Saul said, is this the voice of my son David? And Saul lifted up his voice and wept. And he said to David, thou art more righteous than I. Thou hast rewarded me good, whereas I have rewarded thee evil. Same thing Paul told you in Romans 13, reward evil with good. Now we got the similitude of where this man is getting this from. And y'all have to have that same thought process and notion. Let's look at something else right here in the next chapter. 25th chapter with Nabal. Next chapter over. We ain't going to read the whole story. Just look at verse 29. His wife then came and asked him not to kill him. Look what David did here. I'll make it 28. He said, I pray thee, forgive the trespass of thy handmaid, for Yah will certainly make my Lord a sure house. Because my Lord fight the battles of Yah, and evil have not been found in thee all thy days. Now we could take that to the Lord, and another time we will. Yet a man is risen to pursue thee, and to seek thy soul. But the soul of my Lord shall be bound in the bundle of life with Yah thy God and the souls of thy enemies. Then shall he sling out as the middle of a sling. And it shall come to pass, when Yah shall have done to my Lord according to all the good that he spoke concerning thee, and shall have appointed thee ruler over Israel, that this shall be no grief unto thee, nor offense unto my Lord, either thou hast shed blood causeless, or that my Lord avenge himself. But when Yah shall have dealt with my Lord, then remember thy handmaid. And David said to Abigail, blessed be Yah, God of Israel, which sent thee this day to meet me. Blessed be thy advice, and blessed be thou which hast kept me from this day to shed blood, and from avenging myself with my own hand. That's why he told you to love your enemies and not seek to do nothing to these people. Don't seek to avenge yourself by your own hand. Don't seek to fight your battle. Have the same mind David had, the same mind Yahshua had. That was showing you the similitude. That's why the Lord was telling you this. For in the very deed as Yah God of Israel lived, which have kept me back from hurting thee, except thou had haste to come meet me, surely there had not been left under Nabal by the morning light any that piss against the wall. So David received of her hand that which she had brought him, and said unto her, go up in peace to thine house. I have hearkened to thy voice, and have accepted thy person. Now you got to sit there and look at that. Now, he just told this man he was going to kill every male around him. Every one. See, you got your backpack there, buddy. Come on back to Luke 6.
She put it on?
Yes, she did.
No, she didn't.
Oh, I thought she put that on. So when you look at Luke 6, about verse 30. Yeah. Alright, we good. Luke 6 and 30. He said, give to every man that asketh thee, and of him that take away thy goods ask them not again. And ye what that men should do to you, do ye also to them likewise. So the same way y'all want people to treat you, you should treat them in the same fashion. You should treat them in the same fashion. And he says, for if you love them which love you, what thank have ye for sinners also love those that love them? So if you look out for people who going to look out for you, and you love people who love you, what think you got in that? Huh? What think you got in that? You think you doing something because you just look out for people who love you? He say sinners do the same thing. He say, and if you do good to them which do the good to you, what thank have ye? For sinners also do even the same. And if you lend to them of whom you hope to receive, what thank have ye? For sinners also lend to sinners to receive as much again. He say, but love your enemies and do good and lend, hoping for nothing again, and your reward shall be great, and ye shall be the children of the highest, for he is kind unto the unthankful and to the evil. That's something that all of us need to consider. You need to learn how to be kind to unthankful people and evil people. Because if the Lord can show forth that similitude, you show forth his glory when you do it. Now, we know we're supposed to look out for the household, but it's real easy to look out for your own kind. It takes some real strength of character to look out for somebody who is unthankful and evil. It takes some real strength of character to look out for a sinner. You ever done it before? Recently, anyway. Probably not. But, huh? No, probably not nowhere. I'll probably have time or two. Maybe not nothing major. You know what I'm talking about? Listen what he tells you. Verse 36. This is the key thing. Be ye therefore merciful as your Father also is merciful. Wasn't David showing mercy to Nabal? Then he showed mercy to Saul. Then y'all need to likewise and go do the same. Because you want God to show mercy to y'all, but then y'all don't want to turn around and show mercy to nobody else. Look what he tells you. Verse 38. He said, give, and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over, shall men give into your bosom. For with the same measure that ye meet withal, it shall be measured to you again. So the same way you show love out here in these streets, and you give to other people, he said, guess what? That same judgment will be measured back. You don't show no love by it, guess what that means? You ain't going to get nothing by it. That's what he's telling you. That's what he's telling you. Because David gave. Remember, we could read what David fed the people too. Told the people, hey man, give everybody a fresh piece of meat. David got plenty in return, didn't he? Plenty in return. You have to sit there and look at these same things. Come back over here to Isaiah 42. Look at that. It's a long time since you laid on that one now. Look at verse 6. Make it 5, not a 5. He says, thus saith Yah, that he that created the heavens and stretched them out, he that spread forth the earth and that which come out of it, he that give breath unto the people upon it, and to the spirit of them that walk therein. I Yah have called thee in righteousness, and will hold thy hand, and will keep thee, and give thee for a covenant of the people, for a light of the Gentile. Knowing Joseph's name, meaning God has taken away my sin, and he said, I'll give him the blessing of the dew of heaven. That's man talking about that spirit now. Come on around here to John 7. And this will tie into something I told you I would show you all with Matthew 16. Matter of fact, go to Matthew 16 right now. That we are. I meant to mention this last night. Lord, work it back in either way. Matthew 16, I want to say about verse 27. Oh, that's Mark. No wonder I couldn't find what I was looking for. Listen what he says. For the Son of Man shall come in the glory of his Father and with his angels. Then he shall reward every man according to his works. Truly I say unto you, there be some standing here which shall not taste death till they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom. Now these people sitting here thinking that this talking about this man had to come back when he said this. Now we know full well this can't be talking about this here. He said these men won't taste death till they see coming in his kingdom. We know Peter died. Because was not Peter standing right there? Wasn't his disciples standing right there? This whole chapter he's talking to his disciples. Let's see what him talking about coming in the glory of his Father. Look at John 17, about verse 1. These words spake Yahshua and lifted up his eyes to heaven, saying, Father, the hour is come. Glorify thy Son, that thy Son also may glorify thee. So let's see what that glory would be. John 7, 37. Stank it. Stank it. You're going to knock it over. You're going to knock it over. And the last day of that great day of the feast, Yahshua stood and cried, saying, if any man thirst, let him come unto me and drink. He that believe on me, as the scripture has said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. But this spake he of the Spirit, which they should believe on him should receive. For the Ruach HaKodesh was not yet given, because that Yahshua was not yet glorified. So for them to see him coming in the glory and in his kingdom, that means these men were going to see the Spirit. Because Peter didn't taste death when he seen it, did it? Let's see if he tasted death before he seen it. Acts the 2nd chapter. Matter of fact, when you look at that, Acts 1 about verse 4. Put that book down. Thank you. I appreciate your cooperation. Come on over here. Come on. Come on. He said, being assembled together with them, commanded them that they should not depart from Jerusalem, but wait for the promise of the Father, which saith he, you have heard of me. For John truly baptized with water, but you shall be baptized with the Ruach HaKodesh not many days hence. Now he just sitting here telling them these men is going to see the glory of God. They're going to see him coming in his kingdom. Because he told them the kingdom of God is eternal life, is it not? They was thinking that they were referring to a literal kingdom when he said that. Because look what they asked him in verse 9. Well, verse 6. He said, when they therefore were come together, they asked of him, saying, Lord, will thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel? He said unto them, it is not for you to know the times or the seasons which the Father hath put in his own power. But you shall receive power after that the Ruach HaKodesh has come upon you. You shall be witnesses unto me in both Jerusalem and all of Judea and in Samaria and unto the uttermost part of the earth. So we know he wasn't talking about no physical kingdom when he told them that in Matthew 16. Now what? Because he said they wouldn't taste death till they see the kingdom coming. But then we just read in John 17 and in John 7 that the glory of the Father is the Spirit coming in. Let's see what happens in Acts 2 and 1. All right, somebody take that from our hands. Just cut the two lines. And when the day of Pentecost was fully come, they were all of one accord in one place. And so, don't you even get it. And suddenly there came a sound from heaven as of a rushing mighty wind. And it filled the house where they were sitting. And there appeared unto them cloven tongues like as of fire. And it sat upon each of them. And they were all filled with the Ruach HaKodesh and began to speak with other tongues as the Spirit gave them utterance. Sounds like Yahshua got that blessing of that door of heaven. Wow! Let me look at this Deuteronomy 33 one more time, see what it says. So he say, for the precious things of heaven. So when Yahshua was glorified, when he stood in front of his disciples, did he lie to them? Did they not see the Son of Man coming in the glory of his kingdom? Receiving of the Spirit, the precious things of heaven, did he tell them a lie? No, he didn't. Let's go back to Deuteronomy 33. Now we read verse 16 as well. And he said, the precious things of the earth and the fullness thereof. He said, goodwill that dwelt in the bush, and let the blessing come upon Joseph, the head of Joseph, of him that was separated from his brethren. Now what happened? What did they do to Joseph? What did his brothers do to Joseph? What did the other brothers of Joseph do to him? They sold him. And he was separated from his brethren for a time period. And what did the people turn around and do to Yahshua? They sold him to some Gentiles. And then he was separated from his brethren. But when did he get separated from his brethren? When he went on high. Remember, come on around here to John 14. That big old head, ain't nothing going to raise that thing. That thing heavy and hard. John 14 and 1. Leave it alone, little saints. It ain't for you. It ain't for you at all. He said, let not your heart be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go to prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there you may be also. Sounds like to me that he got the blessings and all these things that he separated from his brethren. And see, now we have to look at this here. We're going to have to learn to begin to separate ourselves from people too. You how you say he was separate from his brethren? See, let's look at something real strong and real hard. A lot of people don't like to deal with. That's when they go to talking about you in the coat when you go to dealing with this here. Come on down here to Nehemiah 13. Nehemiah 13, verse 23. He said, in those days also saw I Jews that had married wives of Ashdod, of Ammon, and of Moab. And their children spake half in the speech of Ashdod, and could not speak in the Jews' language, but according to the language of each people. And I contended with them, and cursed them, and smote certain of them, and plucked off their hair, and made them swear by God, saying, You shall not give your daughters unto their sons, nor take their daughters unto your sons for yourselves, or for yourselves. Did not Solomon king of Israel sin by these things? Yet among many nations was there no king like him, who was beloved of his God, and God made him king over all of Israel. Nevertheless, even him did outlandish women cause to sin. He said, Shall we then hearken unto you to do all this great evil, to transgress against our God and marrying strange wives? And one of the sons of Joiada, the son of Elishabib, the high priest, was the son-in-law of Sanballat the Horonite. Therefore I chased him from me. Remember them, O my God, because they have defiled the priesthood and the covenant of the priesthood and of the Levites. Thus cleansed I from all strangers and appointed the wards of the priests and Levites, every one in his business. Now look at verse 29. He said, you need to remember because they defiled the priesthood. They defiled Levi. Now knowing that means to be enjoined to God, right? Now how are we going to defile God by being joined to God if we sitting here mingling with people who going to cause you to go astray? Because what did he tell you not to do? He told you to depart from among them and touch not the unclean thing, didn't he? He said, do not be unequally yoked. And some of y'all, that's y'all problem. You don't want to separate from people who you're unequally yoked with. You have nothing in common. Y'all have nothing together. One of you trying to move to live sanctified and set apart and be clean with the living God, and the other person of the world. And we dealt with this not too long ago in Judges 2. He said, I told you not to mingle with the people of the land. Why have you done these things? Some of you still want to be mingled with people and places and things you ain't got no business being mingled with. Why? Why? Because remember, we just read about Joseph. He was separate from his brethren. The blessings of God was on him. Yahshua was separate from his brethren, and the blessings of God is on him. One of these days, when the Lord permit, we'll go through that Nazarite vow about being set apart to y'all. So you got to ask yourself, why are you not willing to set yourself apart to y'all? Why are you not willing to do it? But you want the Spirit, though. But you want the Spirit, but you hear the word, but you don't do it, though. You know what I'm talking about? Does that make any sense? That make any sense to you? You want to receive a gift from this man, but you don't want to be separate from your brethren. You don't want to do the word. You don't want to hear it. You want to do stuff in the dark and don't think it's going to come to the light that what you're doing is wrong. That you got to leave in the hypocrisy in your heart. You think that's cool? Man, that's not cool. Come on back to Deuteronomy 33. Because I know the rest of what I got to do, Deuteronomy 33, don't really pertain to what we talking about this afternoon. And the Lord might just cut this thing short. He'll probably cut it short when we get to the end of verse 19. Verse 17 where we at. Verse 17 where we at. His glory is like the firstling of his bullet, and his horns are like the horns of a unicorn. With them he shall push the people together to the ends of the earth. They are the 10,000s of Ephraim, they are the thousands of Manasseh. And of Zebulun he said, Rejoice, Zebulun, in thy going out, and Issachar in thy tent. Remember, Zebulun is dwell, and Issachar is higher. So guess what? The man said, if you continue to walk in the perfect law of liberty, you'll be blessed in your deed. You can be able to dwell in that tabernacle. Then we just read in John 14, this man said, in my Father's house there's many mansions. I go to prepare a place for you. I go to prepare a place for you. All you got to do is rejoice in your going out. See, come on around here to John 14. And you're going out, that's when you out here in the world. John 14, then Revelation 2 and 9. Then we'll hit John 16 too, since it comes to mind. John 14 and 23. Then we go to John 16. That just came to mind too. John 14:23. Yahshua answered and said unto him, If a man love me, he will keep my words, and my Father will love him, and we will come unto him and make our abode with him. So if you love this man, you're going to do what he say, and you're going out. In all your actions and all your movements, you're going to keep this man in you.
No.
John 16. Listen to what he tell you now. Verse 31, actually. John 16:30. Make it 32. He said, Behold, the hour come, yea, and is now come, that ye shall be scattered, every man to his own, and shall leave me alone. Yet I am not alone, because the Father is with me. So you see how he's talking about he's going to scatter you to his own? That means he's separate from his brethren. But he got the blessing of heaven, though. And look what he tells him. He said, These things I've spoken unto you, that in me you might have peace. In the world you shall have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I've overcome the world. So when you're going out, he tells you to be happy because you done overcame the world. And we know that the faith in the Son of God, that's the victory. Even our faith, that's who overcome the world. That's those who believe that Yahshua is the Son of God. Come on around here to 1 John, the 3rd chapter. Just because you got to be in this world don't mean you got to be of this world. We just read last night, you ain't got no business loving the world nowhere. You ain't got no business loving and wanting the desire to be around worldly people. John 14 and about verse 14. Yeah, I meant the 4th chapter though. That's what I meant. It wasn't chapter 3. It's chapter 4 what I meant.
This is 14.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I said 1 John chapter 3. Now I say make it chapter 4. And about verse 13.
14, you said something.
Well, I was referring to the verse.
Oh, okay.
1 John 4 and 13. He said, Hereby know we that we dwell in him, and he in us, because he's given us of his Spirit. It really does thank you. And we have seen and do testify that the Father sent the Son to be the Savior of the world. See, that's the key thing. Remember we dealt with that earlier. That's what his preachers do. They testify. They testify of the Son and the truth of the Word, that men might turn from their sins and be saved. Whosoever shall confess that Yahshua is the Son of God, God dwell in him and he in God. Not only are you confessing, thank you. Not only are you going to confess him because of your knowledge of the Scripture, but you should be confessing him in your lifestyle. Matter of fact, hold this. Come on around here to Psalm 50. Psalm 50 and 23. Just to make sure you just think because you run your mouth and do it, that's going to be enough. Listen what it says. Whoso offereth praise glorify me, and him that order his conversation or his behavior aright, I will show the salvation of God. We know that's the Spirit. And he just told his disciples to thank the Lord. He just told his disciples, Matthew 16, I'll show you the salvation of God. I'll show you the glory of God. And you won't taste death till you see it. Because they order their behavior right. And because they order their behavior right, they were able to see that. And if you want to be able to see it, you got to do the same thing. That's why he said, he that confess me before men, I confess him before my Father which is in heaven. Some of y'all ain't confessing this man before these people. You denying him by your actions. That's why he said you profess that you know God, but in works you deny him. It don't make no sense to be walking around here continually denying this man. Come on back here to 1 John the 4th chapter. We in verse 16. He said, we know and have believed that the love of God, and we have known and believed that the love that God hath to us. God is love, and he that dwell in love, dwell in God, and God in him. You dwell in the love of the Messiah, and the love of the commandments, then God going to dwell in you. If you're not dwelling in the love of God and the love of the Messiah, then God ain't dwelling in you. Herein is our love made perfect, that we may have boldness in the day of judgment. Because as he is, so are we in this world. So guess what? He said he was Kodesh in Revelation 3. He said he was a lamb without blemish. He gave you an example that when they reviled, he reviled not. And when they threatened, he threatened not. And he committed no sin, but committed himself unto he who judges righteously. So as he is, you should be in the world. You got to ask yourself, why you not as he is? Because you ain't got him dwelling in you. Now you got to continue to ask yourself, why is the living God not dwelling in me? What is it in my heart that I need to remove from it that this man might dwell in me? What is it that I got going on that this man is not dwelling in me? And what you got going on here, you won't die. You won't die. You won't allow this man to take away your free reproach so that he can dwell in you. Because you steady trying to find a way to do what you want to do because you're hearing the word but you're not doing it. Lord ain't going to say, I'm going to give you some points because you sat down and you read some Bible 3-4 hours a night, or you read the book 3-4 days out of the week. He's more concerned about your actions and your doings. Where was that before they first John? Matter of fact, I don't even need to go back there. Let's go back to Deuteronomy 33 so we can wrap this up. Wrap it up real clean, wrap it up real nice. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's going to bring me all the garbage. I ain't got nowhere to take it. It's going to bring it to me. Verse 19. He said, they shall call the people unto the mountain. There shall they offer sacrifices of righteousness. For they shall suck of the abundance of seeds and of the treasures hid in the sand. So let's see what he's going to call these people to offer sacrifices of righteousness unto his mountain. Isaiah 2:1. Then we go to Isaiah 66. Isaiah 2:1, then Isaiah 66. He said the word that Isaiah the son of Amos saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. It shall come to pass in the last days that the mountains of Yah's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. And many people shall go and say, come ye, let us go up to the mountain of Yah, to the house of the God of Jacob. He will teach us of his ways, we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law, and the word of Yah from Jerusalem. Now for these people to be able to go up to the mountain, to offer these sacrifices of righteousness, he said it's a great noise. I would have said a great noise, isn't it? He said, there shall call unto the people. What call the people? What has to be done for the people to be called? You know what's got to be? We just dealt with it a couple weeks ago. Might have been a week or two ago. What's got to happen, Dwight, for the people to be called? You don't know. What got to be happening for the people to be called? The trumpet's got to be blown. No, your daughter brought that.
So you throw that me.
I throw it at whomever I choose, and you happen to be the one whom was chosen.
Throw that who throw something else you can put out.
Yeah, put me out.
Oh, I will.
You ain't strong enough.
I ain't got to.
You ain't got no gun either.
I don't need no gun.
What else? What you got?
I got them white boys.
Who? I fight them too.
Mm-hmm.
I fight them too.
All the crap.
Call them in. Act like you just called them. That's what you do. But now listen to it now.
I'm just gonna sit here.
Because you go read Isaiah 27:12, he said when that great trumpet, the people going to be gathered. The Lord already told you. We done dealt with this already. So we know this is when the people come up. The last chapter of the book of Isaiah. Isaiah 66, verse 20. And he says, and they shall bring all your brethren for an offering unto Yah out of all nations upon horses and chariots and in litters and upon mules and upon swift beasts to my Kodesh mountain Jerusalem, saith Yah, as the children of Israel bring an offering in a clean vessel into the house of Yah. And I will also take of them for priests and for Levites, saith Yah. So now it sounds like the people coming up to that set apart mountain to make offerings in righteousness. 1 Peter 2. Hey man, you just farted, man? You stink, man.
Yeah, I know, it's spelled too.
You stink, man.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't spelled that. I just felt like saying that. 1 Peter 2:4. To whom coming as unto a living stone, disallowed indeed of men, but chosen of God and precious. Ye also lively stones, and are built up a spiritual house, a Kodesh priesthood, to offer a spiritual sacrifice acceptable to God by Yahshua the Messiah. So Yahshua came to be able to make you an offering acceptable to God. That's tying right back to what we were discussing about when you take in that bread and that wine. You saying that you are offering or a sacrifice acceptable to God. You got to turn and make yourself an offering and a sacrifice acceptable to God. Romans 12:1. Yes, thank you. I beseech you, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, Kodesh, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. That's what's got to be happening. You don't need to be conformed to the world anymore. You need to show forth the acceptable will of God, the perfect will of God, by your actions, by the changing of your mind, by being made new. That's what Yahshua came to do, to make you new. Not to be the same old raggedy nigga you were when you started, to be a new person. And I done told some of y'all before, I ain't talking about you done made some modifications or you done changed some behavior or you've been able to mask your sins and your wickedness. Make it new. Get rid of it. Because that's what basically it comes down to. That's what most people do. They just cover it up. You done been able to mask it real good. But you still the same raggedy nigga when you just started. And guess what? Just because, well, you know what, men on the outward thing, it ain't really that different. But for women, you know what I'm saying, hey, putting on some head wraps and wearing some dresses and taking off your jewelry, that don't mean you righteous. For the men, just because you start eating pork and you done cease from working on the Sabbath, and you say, hey, you ain't doing this here no more, that don't mean that you done changed. You can still be the same wicked nigga. You just done made certain modifications in your behavior. You haven't made a change, though. You haven't been converted. You haven't renewed your mind. You still got the same lustful thoughts and desires. That stuff got to go. That stuff got to go. It got to go. Come on around here to Revelation 22. We'll call it a day right here. Revelation 22 and 3. No, that'll be good enough. He said, there shall be no more curse, but the throne of God and the Lamb shall be in it, and his servants shall serve him. And they shall see his face, and his name shall be in their foreheads. And there shall be no night there. And they need no candle, neither the light of the sun, for Yah Elohim give them light, and they shall reign forever and ever. And he said unto me, these sayings are faithful and true. And Yah Elohim of the Kodesh prophets sent his angel to show unto his servants the things which must shortly be done. Behold, I come quickly. Blessed is he that keep the sayings of the prophecy of this book. It's a blessed thing you take heed to this man's word and not his. Now, praise be Yah in the name of Yahshua for his word. Y'all understood all these things?